పేరు రేఖ. నా వయసు 17 సంవత్సరాలు.
I'm Rekha. I'm 17 years old. I have 2 younger brothers and sister at home whom I support. Recently, my elder sister, who's married, also returned home to stay with us because her husband threw her out. She had developed some illness and he didn't want to have her around in the house anymore.
మా దగ్గరికి వచ్చి మేము చచ్చిపోయే కాడికి ఇక్కడ ఎందుకు నేను మా చెల్లెళ్ళ కాడికి వెళ్ళి బతుకుతానని వచ్చి ఇక్కడే ఉంది. నేను అప్పో చెప్పో అయితే అయింది, మా అక్కని బతికించుకుందామని మా అక్కని ఇక్కడికి తీసుకొచ్చి బాగా ఆపరేషన్ చేయించుకున్నాను. అమ్మ నాన్న అలా ఇలాగని మాకు తెలియదు అంతకుముందు.
When my parents died, we didn't know what illness they had. Now we know it was AIDS.
అని చనిపోయారనేది మాకు తెలిసింది. ఇంటికి లేచి అన్నం కూర వండుకొని పొద్దున్నే అంట్లో అవన్నీ తొందరగా వేసుకొని బట్టలు ఉతికేసుకోవాలి.
My day starts at 5:30 in the morning. I go out to work and then return in the evening. There are then clothes and utensils to wash and food to be cooked. And then there is also the children's school work that has to be looked into.
అన్నం తిని పడుకుంటాము 9, 8.
చెప్పలేదు కొంతకాలం వరకు. తర్వాత నేను అడిగాను, ఆ సార్ని అడిగాను, ఏమండి అసలు అదేందండి వచ్చింది.
I grew up with her mother. I was there when she got married. She fell ill but didn't tell me what had happened. When she died, I found out from the doctor that it was AIDS. AIDS is a terrible thing.
పోషించుకుని తినడం ఆడుకునే వయసు కదా, తను ఎవరు లేకుండా భారం.
Now this little girl has to shoulder the responsibility of running a family.
ఉంటాయి కదా నాకు బాధగానే ఉంది. అప్పుడప్పుడు పిలిచి వాళ్ళ తమ్ముడు.
My heart breaks when I see children like her.
మీరు జాగ్రత్తగా ఉండండి అని చెబుతాం. పెద్ద తమ్ముడు కానీ వాళ్ళ పిల్లలు కానీ హెచ్చరిస్తానే ఉంటాను.
This is Upalparu village in Andhra Pradesh's Guntur district. Just one of the places that has become home to a new generation of children on India's HIV/AIDS map. Children like Rekha are orphans. Their parents have died of HIV/AIDS. And today they are heads of families, looking after either very young siblings or old grandparents.
I want to go to school, but I can't. There isn't enough money. But at least my sister is studying. When I'm free, I draw. There are some very nice drawings in my sister's book. I look at them and I draw.
The story is the same across villages in Andhra Pradesh, where children who have been orphaned by HIV/AIDS have now given up school and are now acting as caregivers and breadwinners for their family. Here in Jyotinagar village, for example, this 14-year-old child stopped going to school 3 years back when his parents passed away because there was no other way to look after his ailing grandparents.
నాలాగా ఇలా ఎంతోమంది పిల్లలు ఉన్నారు.
I'm not the only one. There are lots of children like me.
ఆ అబ్బాయి ఇలాగే వాళ్ళ అమ్మ నాన్న వాళ్ళ నాన్న లారీకి.
There's Senthil, for example. His parents died of AIDS and now he's looking after his old grandparents.
ఇప్పుడు ఆ అబ్బాయి ఒక్కడే ఉన్నాడు. వాళ్ళ అమ్మకి వాళ్ళ నాన్నకి ఆ అబ్బాయి ఒక్కడే.
I've heard his father was a lorry cleaner.
నాయనమ్మని వాళ్ళ తాతయ్యని పోషిస్తున్నాడు. మాతో పాటు కూడా ఆ అబ్బాయి పనికి వస్తాడు. ఖాళీగా ఉన్నప్పుడల్లా ఎప్పుడన్నా ఖాళీగా ఉంటే ఇలా పనులు చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటాడు. రిక్షా బండి ఏదో ఒకటి చేస్తూ ఉంటాడు.
12-year-old Senthil became orphaned when his parents passed away within months of each other 4 years back of AIDS. Now he bears the responsibility of not only looking after himself but his grandparents as well. When he's not driving a rickshaw, he does other odd jobs, earning anything between 10 to 30 rupees.
I have to feed them and look after them, which is why I have to earn money. If I don't look after them, who will?
But even though AIDS deaths are common here, very few people know much about the disease, except for its name.
My daughter and son-in-law died of AIDS. I just know they died of AIDS. I don't know what AIDS is.
మహిళల్లో
Men stay away from home a lot. Most of the village men go out of the village, sometimes to Guntur town or other big towns. They would spend the nights out, earn money and come back. They do different things like unload lorries, work in factories. This way, they earn about 100 rupees a day.
We're right now approaching Chilakaluripet on National Highway 5, home to a community of women where prostitution is the traditional occupation that is followed. This small town is the stopover point for several men who cross this highway, be it truck drivers, migrant laborers or even businessmen.
In between Guntur and Chilakaluripet, we met 40-year-old Malesh. For 15 years, he's been driving on this highway, ferrying businessmen and tourists all over Andhra Pradesh. And every time he passes Chilakaluripet, a quick stopover is a must.
I stay away from home for 15 to 20 days. My heart automatically pulls me towards this town when I'm passing this way. No, I haven't tested myself for HIV/AIDS. I'm in perfect health. But I've heard of people, businessmen I drive, talk about some dangerous secret disease they have got.
The following morning, we visited Chilakaluripet, home to more than 1,000 sex workers, the biggest of its kind in Andhra Pradesh. The women here tell us that in the last 10 years, at least 10 sex workers have died of HIV/AIDS. While we were there, we met 20 women who are HIV positive, some of them for years now, and who are still practicing sex workers, unknown to their customers.
అంతకుముందంటే తెలియక చేసాం కాబట్టి ఇట్లా వచ్చిందని చెప్పి తెలుసు. ఇప్పుడు
I insist all my customers use condoms. Sometimes when they refuse, I still try and convince them. If they don't listen, then I tell them, just take your money and go away.
అని చెప్పేసి మేము నచ్చ చెప్పుకుంటాం. ఒకవేళ ఇంటే విన్నట్టు లేకపోతే మీ డబ్బులు మీకు ఇచ్చేస్తాం వెళ్ళిపోండి అని చెప్పేస్తాం అన్నమాట.
But off camera, some of them admitted that occasionally they do give in to customers who don't want to use protection, especially if they offer to pay double, sometimes triple the money that the women charge.
I feel sad when I think about myself and other children like me who are heading families. I keep thinking how different it would have been if my parents had been around. Sometimes when I come back from work, my back hurts so much and I can't do any more work. But I can't stop working. I have to go every day. Sometimes I feel I have lost out on my childhood.
Rekha may never be able to revisit her childhood, and 10-year-old Kumar has no choice but to watch the best years of his life pass him by. A year after he was born, he had to be admitted to hospital for a blood transfusion. His blood group was O positive. So was his father's. The blood was passed on from father to son, and a year later, Kumar tested positive for HIV. It was only then that his father realized that he had been HIV positive all along and had infected his son as well. Today, Kumar and his father are both on anti-AIDS drugs. But the little boy is too weak to respond to the drugs. And if that wasn't traumatic enough, 2 months back he had to be taken out of school because his friends started taunting him about his HIV positive status.
HIV/AIDS orphans are not restricted to just the villages here in Andhra Pradesh. They're very much a part of big cities like Vijayawada, for example. In fact, here in almost each and every slum colony, there are at least 2 families affected by HIV/AIDS that are now being supported by either a young girl or a young boy.
These hands look older than their 15 years, but they also tell the story of Lakshmi's life. Lakshmi lives in a slum colony in Vijayawada. She was orphaned by parents who died again of HIV/AIDS 6 years back. She is now the sole earning member of a family that consists of 2 other siblings and her grandmother, who is too old to work. Within days of her parents' death, Lakshmi realized that if she continued going to school, the family would starve. Overnight, the child became the head of the family. But she ensured that her 2 younger siblings continued with their studies.
I do like to study. I wish I could, but there is no way I can anymore. When I feel this way and sometimes when I am lonely, I think about my parents. I miss them terribly. I wish they were here. I have no dreams today, just responsibilities. There are so many people who have been affected by AIDS. My friend Pushpa, for example. She is 4 years old. She lives here. She is HIV positive herself. Her parents are dead and she stays with her grandmother. People say her grandmother worked as a sex worker. Now she is old and can't walk too well.
Pushpa?
10% of India's HIV/AIDS cases are from Andhra Pradesh, and AIDS agencies say that 90% of these infections are from sexual transmission. Surprisingly, there is no data available about the exact number of AIDS orphans in Andhra Pradesh and India as a whole.
When our program was formulated in 1998, there was such a perception that there would be a huge social problem of orphans and young widows, and discrimination and stigma was not envisaged or envisioned at that time. So we had no real programmatic intervention designed and formulated to cope with this problem.
On the ground, organizations working with such children say that the numbers could go into thousands, and that AIDS orphans are perhaps the most neglected section of people in India's HIV/AIDS program. In Guntur district alone, there are close to 75 villages that are affected, where one can find a large number of families that are being looked after by children orphaned by HIV/AIDS.
Initially, everybody are focusing on prevention of HIV. That is a very important component. One-time prevention will never do. We need to have continuous efforts on prevention program, and most of the time we forget about care.
What's worse, a large percentage of these children are infected themselves. At least 30 children in the villages we visited have tested positive. The rest don't know and don't want to find out.
I don't know if I'm positive. I'm healthy. I have not tested myself. I'm not positive. I feel the pressure of running a home all the time. All my friends are married. I want to get married too and have my own babies. I now need someone to take care of me. A good man with a good heart.
Hundreds of kilometers away in a small slum in Vijayawada, Venkat Rao and his wife Parvati are waiting for 10-year-old Nageshwar to return home from school. They adopted him 2 years back, after his parents, Venkat Rao's neighbors, died of AIDS. Today, Nageshwar is like any other member of the Rao family, as the eldest of 5 brothers. The rest, all Venkat's and Parvati's sons. As if he has always been a part of this family. The couple earn less than 5,000 rupees a month as sanitation workers. And bringing up their children isn't easy. But no one can tell.
When his parents passed away, I knew he would go astray. If there was no one to take care of him, everyone in the family happily accepted him. We are all very happy together, like one big happy family.
Not everyone is as lucky as Nageshwar. The thousands of little hands that work tirelessly through the day to care for their even younger siblings may never find a loving embrace. These are children without a childhood, adult heads of families shouldering their burdens alone and shunned by society. Their only source of hope is their own heroic spirit. Their only companion, the first rays of the morning sun.
తీపి తీపి చేదు ఇదా